Hey everyone, welcome back to the video. Today I'm going to be recapping my VCT Pacific Rebuild series. In this series, I go through, give you guys the players that I think any team should cut, like the guys that I think they should let go, the guys that I think they should pick up to replace them, and a little bit about the players that I think they should keep on the roster. This video will be going through the 4 teams that I did not make a full video on because I did not make 2 or more changes to their roster. And yeah, we'll talk a little bit about the teams that I did rebuild, so you guys know what teams that I did do, and you can go back and watch those videos if you're interested in them. But they're all on my channel. I've also done the series for Americas in EMEA. Those videos will be coming out soon, very similar to this one, where I'm talking about, I think it's 4 teams for EMEA and 3 teams for Americas. So if you're interested in them, turn on notifications. Those will be coming out soon. And yeah, after these videos are done, after I'm finished with this series, I will be going on to giving off-season grades to every team in EMEA, Americas, and Pacific. So you can stay tuned for that as well as all of my like power rankings and player rankings content leading up to the season. So if you're interested in any of that, stay tuned. And yeah, let's get right into it. So these are the 6 teams that I have already rebuilt: Team Secret, DFM, Talon, T1, Zeta, and RRQ. I've made videos on all these teams. Obviously, Talon is one where it's kind of weird because they got kicked out of VCT, so they're not going to necessarily be one that's like very interesting. But like, I mean, maybe a team picks up the whole Talon roster, and I would still make the same changes that I would make to that last year's Talon roster heading into next season and stuff like that. But regardless of the org, I'm not going to be making a like single video about Talon or anything like that. And then the other teams, you'll just have to see what those changes are in those videos. If you're wondering why I didn't pick up a specific player for one of the teams in this video, it's probably because they landed on another team in one of the other videos. So yeah, these are the 6 teams that I've already rebuilt, but these are the 4 teams that we'll be talking about in this video: PaperX, Gen.G, DRX, Global. I think Global's the one big surprise for some people that they're not like they're on this list. I just thought they showed enough potential in stage 2 to like keep the roster that they had heading into next year, and or at least keep a similar roster to what they had heading into next year, and maybe make like one change here or there and try to kind of put themselves over the top and maybe become like a playoff team and then slowly make more changes. We'll talk about them a little bit more specifically, but now we'll get on to, I decided to start with PaperX. So yeah, starting with PaperX here, we have 3 players with expiring contracts: Something, Devi, and I think Mind Freaks was expiring as well, but when I made the slideshow, it didn't like show on the contract database, so I did not know. But Patman, Forsaken, and Jing all have contracts that are staying into next year, so we don't really have to get rid of them if we don't want to. But Devi and Something will have to resign. For this team, I just decided to keep the same 5 and then let Mind Freak walk. He did go to a different team in one of my actual videos, so if you're interested where he landed, you can go check out those videos and see where he actually ended up in this series. But overall, PaperX, one of the best teams, if not the best team of VCT Pacific in 2025, and they're going to keep their same 5 because I really don't think they need changes. Then moving on to DRX, where we have 6 players here actually, but none that need re-signing, all 2026 or later contracts. Honestly, I'm not going to be talking about it in the series too much in terms of like extending players that aren't on expiring contracts, but I would potentially be looking into extending Hyunmin and Mako before 2026 so like they're not on an expiring contract, and if they have a bad year, they'll still need to get bought out from this org. That's kind of an organization thing that I think I would look into if I was DRX, but for this, we're not going to be really talking about that too much. But this one's another simple one. We're going to keep the same 5 that played last year and send Flicker back down to the academy, who I think was just strictly promoted to be like a 2-way player between the academy and the main roster, and is kind of playing in some off-season tournaments and stuff to develop him. I think that's the reason he's here, but he's a solid player. I just think he probably needs some more development before coming up to the main roster. And DRX was a very good team at Champs, so I think I would like to keep the same core all together heading into next year. So now onto the teams that we'll actually talk about and I think are actually interesting for this video, because PaperX and DRX, we didn't make any changes to. But Gen.G here, My thought process heading into this series was always to only re-sign 2 out of the 3 guys for Gen.G because that's kind of how they've operated in the past few years, and it makes a little bit more sense. It makes this series at least a little bit more interesting that one of the Gen.G guys could go somewhere else, because otherwise I think I would just keep everybody and keep the same 5 that they had last year and run it back, because they were one of the best teams in Pacific, and I still think they would have performed at least decently well at Champs with this roster. But we do have 3 expiring contracts here in Texture, Munchkin, and Charon, and I gave myself the rule to only re-sign 2. So we'll have to keep 2, which they did in real life, to be fair. Munchkin did go to T1, but I did decide to keep him here and go without Charon heading into next year. We'll reassign Texture because I think that's obvious. He's one of the best duelist players in the world, if not the best. Munchkin, one of the best IGLs in the world, one of the best flex players in the world, if not the best. I think he might have an argument for best IGL, but I wouldn't put him like top 3 or anything like that. Then Ash and Foxy9 will keep because I think they are good young players that showed potential last year. Foxy9 especially so. I mean, Ash towards the end of the year especially so, honestly. He started off really bad for this team in my opinion, but it got better as the year went on. And then I thought Charon was probably the most expendable player on the Smokes role. Not that he was bad by any means. Like, he is an extremely good player. He did go somewhere else in my rebuild series, so if you're interested in that, you can go find him in one of those videos. He did go to a Korean team to just narrow it down for you. But yeah, I thought he was a incredible Smokes player, but I was only able to re-sign 2 of these guys, so I decided to keep Texture and Munchkin instead of him. So our pickup to replace Charon is going to be Persia, who kind of had a really weird situation getting cut from Nongshim. I'm not going to make any changes to the Ascended teams, but he was available strictly because Nongshim cut him before Ascension and then went into that tournament and was good. So I'm still going to keep him here in Tier 1 just because I think he is an extremely consistently good Smokes player. And is also he's always good all the time, and also still has those highlight moments where he's able to hit great clutches and stuff like that. And he's good on all the agents as well, like Omen, Astro, Brim. He's good at all of those. I would have concerns of him flexing over to Viper and Harbor and stuff like that, but I'm not super concerned with that. My main concern would be him being a little bit more passive than Charon, but Gen.G's switched styles of players before within their system and been perfectly fine. Like Ash compared to Lakia, that's an insane switch. Foxy to Meteor isn't that crazy. But yeah, Ash and Lakia it was an insane swap, and they were kind of able to make that work. Obviously, it felt like that team was a little bit worse than the previous year, but I think that was kind of to do with other factors other than Ash versus Lakia. So they were able to make that work. I think stylistically, Persia is different than Charon, but you can absolutely still have the same amount of success with Persia. Jesus, man, I can't talk. Holy shit. Now, onto our last team here. We have a Global Esports, who have 6 players under contract as well, all with non-expiring contracts. So we can literally keep whoever we want, cut whoever we want from this team, and yeah, head into next year with a pretty solid roster. I like a lot of the pieces on this team. Udotan, Crystal. I thought Poppy and Ban were good at moments. Yoman is a nice supportive piece as well. So I think you have a ton of options here. But what we're going to do is we're going to cut Poppy and we're going to cut Darion. Obviously, Darion wasn't playing for them in Stage 2, but he is contracted by the team, so he was a player that I would be able to keep if I wanted to. But I didn't think he was very good when he's played. Poppy, I thought, while he had some really good moments, I don't think was quite consistent enough, and I think he would help. Him getting replaced by a more consistently good Smokes player would help the team kind of reach their potential. But we're going to keep Udo, keep Yeoman, keep Crystal, keep Ban. I thought Yeoman was IGLing, but I think Crystal was for Stage 2. It's kind of weird with this team, but I think either one, whoever was calling in Stage 2, you can keep them into next year and to feel okay about it, and then bring in a new Smokes player here. Because I think some people might say, oh, Ban might deserve to be cut, Yeoman might deserve to be cut. But I think both of them like were good supportive players. And if you get another guy that can just be consistent and frag on the smokes roll, I think you're in a good spot. So there were a few options here for global, but the one that I went with was DH, who got cut from T1 just because we got a much better option. Now, if you paid attention to my last segment, you'd probably know who that much better option was, but I thought he was slightly inconsistent for T1, but much, much less inconsistent than Poppy. Like he was significantly better most of the time. Showed a lot of great like flashes, not omen flashes, but just like flashes of good play during his first stage in VCT, which was stage 2. As well, like I thought he was probably their best player at champs. So that's a good sign at his first international event, at champions of all events too. Like that's great. I do question some of his flexibility. He had a really good omen, and he played some Brim as well, which was good. But I don't think I've ever seen him play Astra or anything like that. So those would be some questions for me with him. But overall, like he's kind of one of like the last guys that gets picked up here, and I thought he was really good. Also, like this team is now 4 out of 5 Koreans, with only Crystal being the one that's not Korean. So if you did really want to, I think you could cut Crystal, get Yoman to IGL, played like the scan initiator role, and then put another Korean like flex player in here. And I think that would work, honestly, for this team. But I thought Crystal was too good to cut, so I ended up keeping him here. So that'll be it for these rosters. Our final rosters for DRX: Hyunmin, Flashback, Bane, Mako, and Freeing. For Paper X, Something, Forsaken, Patman, Jay, Devi. No changes to those teams. And then for Global, we'll be adding DH in place of Poppy, keeping Udotan, Yoman, Crystal, and Ban. And then for Gen.G, we'll be keeping Texture, Munchkin, Ash, and Foxy9, and adding in Persia instead of Charon. So let me know what you guys think of these rosters in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.